Hello everyone, this tutorial explains how to use the Blender Hair Add-on 3D hairbrush to create a Pompadour hairstyle. The course consists of two sections, hair direction and hairstyling. In this episode, we'll use 3D hairbrush to demonstrate how to groom the hair direction. Let's get started. First, you need to add a vertex group to the model to determine the growth area of the hair. When painting the weights to control the growth area, be precise. If it's inaccurate, modifying it later can be troublesome. The edges of the weight must be sharp, with no excess weights, otherwise there will be stray hairs along the edge. Once added, name the vertex group for later use. Next, you can add hair to the model. The default method to add new hair in Blender requires manual creation and setting parameters like count and length, which can be cumbersome. Now, you can find the new Hair Manager panel in the 3D Hairbrush tab on the sidebar, where you can directly add hair. Newly added hair can have its count, length, segments, and other parameters set in the lower left panel, similar to adding hair with Blender's particle system. This makes adding hair more convenient and controllable. Most parameters of the add-on are based on the particle system and function similarly to legacy operations. When adding hair, you might set a higher count and disable random distribution to make the hair distribution more even. You can also specify the vertex group for the hair. If you accidentally click away, causing the hair panel to disappear, you can press F9 to bring it back. Or you can display the panel by adding it again. Expand this menu and select Generate Hair to replace the hair. The replacement retains the original length, segments, and direction of the hair while allowing modifications to the hair count or adjustments to length and segments individually. Here you can set the count and length. For easier subsequent hair grooming, you might want to set a lower number of segments and adjust the thickness of the hair. A suitable thickness setting makes the hair more visible and easier to manage and observe. When setting the hair thickness, choose a moderate value, not too thick, to avoid affecting the grooming. Next, click on the brush icon to enter the particle sculpt mode and comb and edit the hair. Before combing the hair, you can set up the brush pie menu, adding commonly used brushes, comb, add, delete, puff, orient, length, etc. to the menu for efficiency. The default key to pop up the pie menu is V. In practice, you can first adjust the hair length to make it more suitable for subsequent grooming. You can start by dealing with the shortest or longest hair on the head, such as the temples and the sides, using the length brush to shorten these parts. When using the length brush, you can set a minimum value to limit the length of the hair, speeding up the process while ensuring a consistent effect. After adjusting the length of the hair on the sides of the head, you can comb the hair direction. Use the 3D brush of 3D hairbrush to comb the direction. The 3D brush is convenient for combing short hair, offering more controllable results and efficiency compared to the default comb brush. You can start by combing the hair direction on the sides and back of the head. During this process, if the hair intersects with the model, You can enable collision of the add-on to make the hair collide with the model surface, avoiding intersection. This not only saves time, but also enhances the realism of the hair. When combing the hair direction, you can use both 2D and 3D brushes to speed up combing. Also, comb from multiple views to ensure the direction is correct and reasonable from different angles. During this process, you need to check from multiple views to see if the effects are appropriate. After combing the sides, you can comb the top of the head. When combing the overall direction, the brush scale can be larger to quickly establish the overall direction. The direction on the top edge should be combed downwards to transition smoothly with the sides. For the top of the head, to create a layered look, you can comb the hair at the front backwards, enriching the hair direction. Then, comb the direction of the hair at the back of the head. It is important to note that the hair direction should not be too flat. It can be a bit more fluffy, allowing more room for adjustments and making modifications easier. To increase the fluffiness of the hair, you can use the Orient brush, as it allows overall adjustments without affecting the direction. The hair on the sides is still a bit longer, which can be shortened using the length brush. When shortening the hair, do not only do so from one view, as this would result in uneven lengths from the side view. Therefore, you need to shorten the hair from multiple views. From the front view, if the hair on the top appears too fluffy, use the Orient brush to make it flatter. For areas with fewer guides, you can use the Add brush to add more, as insufficient guides might result in less refined directions or difficulties in combing. The direction of the top front hair seems too far back, which cannot connect well with the front hair. Therefore, you need to comb the direction backwards a bit. Enable X mirror, otherwise both sides will need to be manually handled. After that, you can start working on the hair on the top. The hair on the top is usually longer, so you can use the length brush to lengthen it. The direction of the hair on the top is complex and rich, and the initial segments might not be sufficient. In this case, go into Edit mode, select all the hair, right-click and choose Subdivide, which should meet most needs. Whether further subdivision is needed is determined based on the complexity of the hair direction and length. Because the styling of the top hair is usually complex and needs to show some large clumps, here you can use the part brush for quick combing. The part brush can quickly create large clumps, including some gathering effects, which look very good. It is important to note that when using the part brush, the brush must be placed at the root of the hair, not at the tips. The part brush can only recognize the roots of the hair if placed at the tips. The operation will be inaccurate and unrecognizable. So please ensure it is used at the roots. After the large clumps on the top are done, you can rotate the view to check the overall effect of the hair, looking for any remaining issues. Upon inspection, you'll find that the hair at the back of the head is too long and needs to be shortened. When shortening, the lengths at the edge of the hair should be uniform, as irregular lengths can make the hair appear messy. The hair on the top is also a bit longer and needs to be shortened. By rotating the view, you'll find that some hair is too fluffy and needs to be combed to be flatter. Also, supplement areas with fewer hairs. We just use the part brush to create large clumps on the head, and for some medium clumps, you can use the attract brush for combing. When using the attract brush, you can comb the tips of the hair. Before using the attract brush, first select the hair to be combed into clumps, otherwise it may affect unrelated hair areas. By first selecting the target hair before combing, you won't ruin other parts of the hair structure. When creating medium clumps, be mindful to make the distribution of clumps more random, avoiding too regular or even distribution. Too regular distribution makes the hairstyling look unnatural, while randomly distributed large clumps make the hair more layered and natural. When combing the hair direction, you may find that the comb brush is not very effective and the operation is not precise enough. This is usually due to the orthographic and perspective modes. In perspective mode, the comb brush may not work properly, so it's recommended to switch to orthographic mode, which allows smoother hair combing. Next, you can use the comb brush to further adjust the large clumps on the top. The previously created large clumps might appear too straight, making them look unnatural. So you need to use the comb brush to add curvature to the large clumps, making them more realistic. Also, when combing the hair on the top, pay attention to the natural direction of the hair. The hair on the top is usually more curly, generally directed forward, but the tips of the hair are usually combed backward. Therefore, when combing, pay attention to this transition to make the connection between the hair more natural and uniform. Additionally, when combing the hair on the top, you can add more clumps to enhance the layering of the hair. If the hair is combed too scattered, the overall styling will appear bland and lack layering. So during processing, you can gather some scattered hair using the attract brush or part brush. Some difficult to handle hair can be managed using the comb brush. Hair that is too fluffy is not aesthetically pleasing, so you need to use the orient brush to make it flatter. After that, the hair will appear longer, so you need to use the length brush to shorten it, ensuring smooth hair edges. Once the length is adjusted, you need to comb the hair on the top again. If you find there are too many guides on the top, making combing inconvenient, you can reduce the number of guides, just ensuring the correct direction of the hair. When checking the density of the hair, overly long hair is not intuitive, so you can use a length modifier to temporarily shorten the hair length for easier observation of density changes. In this way, you can quickly identify areas with too many or too few hairs and make adjustments. After handling the quantity of hair, continue to work on the hair direction. By rotating the view, you'll find that the hair on the right side of the head appears too fluffy and needs to be combed to be flatter. To avoid ruining other hair, you can first use the selection paintbrush to select the hair that needs combing. Too messy hair will lead to unpleasing hair effects, so you need to use the comb brush for modifications. For some too straight hairs, you also need to use the comb brush to comb them into curves, which can also help the hair blend more seamlessly. You can find many straight hairs on the left side of the top. You need to select them individually and then use the comb brush for modifications. During the combing, you can shape the hair into clumps, which will give the hair more layers and details. So after handling the hair on the left side, you can take another look at the hair on the right side and slightly comb the direction a bit. If the hair appears too scattered, you can use the part brush to create large clumps for more detail. After combing with the part brush, continue using the attract brush to enhance the clumping effect. For some difficult to handle hairs, you need to select them individually for further combing. When adjusting the hair direction at the front of the top, if you find the direction too straight and lacking variation, you can use the orient brush for overall direction combing, adjusting the hair from vertical upwards to leftwards. After the overall direction adjustment, use the part brush to create large clumps. Then you can observe the effects. From the observation, although the large clumps are already formed, the hair direction is too straight, needing some curvature to make the hair more realistic and natural. From the side view, you'll find the hair is a bit short and can be appropriately lengthened. Some too straight hairs can be selected, and you can use the comb brush to comb them into curves. After creating medium clumps with the part brush, you can use the attract brush to further gather the hair, forming clump shapes. Then combine with the comb brush to add curvature to the clumps, ensuring the hair is more natural. You'll find that the hair on the top is still a bit short and can be lengthened further. The hair direction in the side view can also be combed into clumps, which will give the hair more layering. Hair that is too fluffy on both sides is not aesthetically pleasing, so it needs to be combed to be flatter. After completing some front view effects, you can check the side view. From observation, you'll find that the hair on the sides is a bit fluffy and can be combed to be flatter. Some difficult to comb hair can be selected for combing. Some hairs that appear too long and don't blend well also need to be modified. The hair outline in the front view can also be modified. After handling the hair at the front of the top, the hair at the back can be adjusted similarly. You can first select the hair that needs combing. Then you can quickly create clumps using the attract brush. The number of clumps should not be too large, needing to be consistent with the number of clumps at the front, so the hair transition will be better. After creating the clumps, continue using the comb brush to create hair curvature. Note that the curvature of the hair at the back needs to match the hair at the front, while maintaining a certain randomness to enhance the detail and layering. The length of the hair needs some variation. Hair of too uniform length tends to lack detail. the hair at the edges can be shorter and the hair in the middle longer, giving the hair length variation. For the hair at the back, you also need to comb it into clumps to add layers. Then you can observe the hair. The hair on the sides is not fluffy enough and can be adjusted. So far, the hair direction has been handled, and now you can start styling the hair.